weapons systems. Mercuric iodide is a poisonous, odorless, tasteless, water-insoluble scarlet-red powder that becomes yellow when heated above 126 degrees Celsius, due to a thermochromatic change in crystalline structure. However, samples of red mercury obtained from arrested would-be terrorists invariably consisted of nothing more than various red dyes or powders of little value, which some suspect was being sold as part of a campaign intended to flush out potential nuclear smugglers. The hoax was first reported in 1979 and was commonly discussed in the media in the 1990s. Prices as high as $1,800,000 per kilogram were reported. History: references to red solid mercury began to appear in major Russian and Western media sources in the late 1990s as a national laboratory, shows that in the hands of hoaxers and crewmen, red mercury can do almost anything the aspiring third world demagogue wants it to. You want a shortcut to making an atom bomb? You want the key to Soviet ballistic missile guidance systems? Or perhaps you want the Russian alternative to the anti-radar paint on the stealth bomber? What you need is red mercury. A key event in the history of the red mercury story was an article in the
complex machinery made by mankind. The first working liquid rocket engine was developed by an American scientist, Dr. Robert Hutchings Goddard, in 1926. That rocket traveled 45 feet during 2.5 seconds. The rocket consists of two tanks. One is oxidizer tank and another one is fuel tank. The fuel and oxidizer are separately stored in these two tanks. They are in the form of liquid. The combination of the fuel and oxidizer are called propellant. In liquid propellant rockets, the fuel and oxidizer are in the form of liquids, so these rockets are called liquid propellant rockets.
To 58 megatons of TNT. The Tsar Bomba was an aerial hydrogen bomb known as a thermonuclear weapon. The bomb was 8 meters long, had a diameter of nearly 2.6 meters, and a weight of more than 27 tons, the weight of 5 elephants. Inside the weapon. A small atomic bomb is shaped like a sphere at the top of the casing. The top of the sphere contains conventional chemical explosives surrounding a sphere of the beryllium mirror casing, inside of which is a small plutonium sphere, about 4 to 6 inches in diameter. Below this atomic bomb is the hydrogen or fusion bomb. It consists of a cylinder made of uranium. The fuel for the fusion reaction, lithium deuteride. At the core of the cylinder sits a rod of plutonium. In between the fission and the fusion is an encasing made of styrofoam. This video is sponsored by Ground News. Ground News is the world's first news comparison that detects the final altitude. 32 bridge wire detonators release an electric spark to detonate the chemical bomb. The chemical bomb detonation causes compression inside the plutonium and releases bursts of neutrons. One atom of plutonium is hit by a neutron, splits into 2, and releases energy, producing 2 or 3 additional neutrons. Each of these goes on to react or split other plutonium atoms, thus maintaining a chain reaction that produces a high level of heat, higher than even that at the center of our Sun, 100 million degrees Celsius. The center of the Sun is 15 million degrees Celsius. The temperature results in an atomic explosion. The fission explosion creates high-energy gamma rays and X-rays, which heat up the styrofoam and turns it into plasma. The heat and pressure of the plasma compress the fusion cylinder, causing the lithium deuteride to react. This compresses the fusion cylinder, causing the lithium deuteride to react and form helium and more neutrons. The neutrons cause the uranium casing and plutonium rod to undergo more fission reactions. This causes more pressure on lithium deuteride. This produces more fusion, which releases more neutrons, which causes more fission. The positive feedback loop fission-fusion reaction goes back and forth until a huge explosion occurs, ripping everything apart. Amazingly, all these events happen in only 600 billionths of a second. That produced a mushroom cloud more than 60 kilometers high. The resulting damage was equally massive, and buildings more than 160 kilometers away were reportedly damaged. In addition is the hydrogen or fusion bomb. It consists of a cylinder made of uranium. The fuel for the fusion reaction, lithium deuteride, at the core of the cylinder. Ground News is the world's first news comparison that detects the final altitude. 32 video is sponsored by Ground News. Ground News is the world's first news comparison